Hello and welcome back to this clarity course. This is an overview of acceptance commitment therapy in motion, um, which is an overview of a type of cognitive therapy, acceptance commitment therapy, or ACT for short. This is how I would explain it to somebody who is learning about it for the first time. This is how I explain it to my clients, and kind of the sequence that we work through um, the modality in. It This also includes some little nuggets about consciousness and other types of therapy as we go. That kind of more reflects the way that I work with clients in general, and just sort of layers on to this modality with, I guess, basically just some other thoughts that I have. So let's dive in. These are, as we've learned, the 6 principles of ACT that all aim at enhancing our psychological flexibility, our feeling that we have many choices of how to navigate, how to think, how to feel in any given moment. We're not just stuck in the tunnel of, whatever might be going on for us. All of these principles interact with each other. And last week we spoke about contact with the present moment, which is about as simple as it gets, though not easy for any of us, training ourselves to focus on the here and now. This week we're talking about a subset, or a sub skill, I suppose, of that, which is diffusion. So making space between you and, well, really everything you experience. I always explain like this is like making an arm distance. Um, Diffusion is the art of separation. And, there's so much duality in ACT because, on one hand, it says, all of these principles, we're integrated with, all of the world, all the universe. And to be able to navigate that, we also have to know how to make distance. So diffusion, that arm's length distance between what? Our thoughts, our emotions, physical sensations, even memories. And this is where I'd like to weave in a little bit of another, well, yes, another form of therapy that I use a lot in my practice is EMDR, stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. This is a form of trauma therapy. So some memories, as I'm sure many of us can relate to, feel very sticky. They feel like they've had a big impact on us. When we think about them, there's maybe like this tension in the body, a heavy feeling that's indicative that we haven't fully integrated that memory. So when a memory is very overwhelming or in some way highly uncomfortable, even traumatic for our system, it kind of, I like to say, like it kind of gets stuck to us. And it feels as though we're experiencing that memory now, in a sense. It's sort of pinging us in the present moment and impacting the way that we are perceiving the world and interacting with it. So the aim of trauma therapy at its best is helping to desensitize that. So not that I remember it and all of a sudden that awful memory is the best day of my life. Like, no, we're not erasing memories. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I would recommend it if I did. But it's essentially to distill it down so that when I think about it, my automatic thought isn't something bad about myself or something bad about other people in the world. Um, it's now that I can think, for example, like, oh, wow, I'm so resilient, or wow, I'm so grateful that I got through that. I've grown so much. I've learned so much. I'm safe now. Whatever the appropriate, um, positive, adaptive, automatic thought is our goal. So that the automatic thought, again, isn't like, oh, I'm a bad person or the world isn't safe. I'm not safe. Because our brains aren't excellent at distinguishing what's a memory, what's something I thought about in the past or the future, um, and what's happening now. So that's kind of like higher level, next level process of this. But diffusion and the meditation that we're about to practice is um, a little bit of a window into that, of making space, especially kind of focusing on thoughts, emotions, sensations. How can I make some space between what's coming up now in my mind, um, and myself? Because just because a thought's passing by doesn't mean that I am that thought, which sounds obvious, but we forget this moment to moment. Um, Same with our emotions, our sensations. If I'm sad, I'm not sad. I'm feeling sadness. It's coming through me and by me. So diffusion is kind of the practice of experiencing our inner world like that. All that being said, we're going to practice some diffusion. So if it's not a great time for you to drop into a meditation, pause. We'll come back to this. And if you're ready, get yourself set up. Let's find a seat. You can lay down, whatever feels good for you. We're going to drop right in to this meditation, which is going to involve some visualization. But let's go ahead and start by finding that comfortable position and either relaxing, softening the focus of your eyes or closing them completely. Take whatever you need that will allow your body to settle. And when you do, let's go ahead and take a breath in through the nose. Hold your breath at the top, sip in a little bit more air. And now slowly let it out, exhale. Relax as you do. Hold your breath for a moment and inhale again, let your belly fill. Take another sip at the top of your breath. And exhale. Hold your breath for a moment. One more time, inhale. Take in that extra sip if you need it. Relax, exhale, like you're popping a bubble of tension. Find that hold at the bottom of your breath. Good. Now observe your breath as it moves freely, letting go of that control. Allow it to settle into a rhythm of natural rise and fall. And you just notice. Our breath is always working in the background, whether or not we're paying attention. So just watch as it falls into the rhythm it would like to rest at now. Allowing any lingering tension to melt away with each breath. Now begin to imagine before you a quiet, gently flowing stream. The water shimmers with a soft, natural light. Imagine yourself sitting peacefully, safely in front of this stream, simply watching the water as it flows downstream. This stream represents the flow of your thoughts. Now notice leaves delicately falling, floating on the surface, each leaf unique, effortless and serene. And know that every thought that you have is like one of these leaves. As they appear, observe them without any judgment, simply noticing them and allowing them to continue their journey downstream. With your breath still soft and even, begin to engage with this visualization in more detail. Each time a thought arises, a worry, a memory, an emotion, even a sensation, imagine placing it on one of these leaves. Imagine that the leaf is capable of holding each one of these observations. Watch it tenderly holding each thought, emotion, sensation. and allowing each one to slowly drift down the stream away from the bank that you're sitting on. If a particularly strong thought or emotion appears, simply notice it. Then place it on a leaf and watch as the current takes it away. Sometimes these strong thoughts or emotions require us to place them on many leaves. If you need to, break up the thought or emotion into as many pieces as you need, placing it on as many leaves as it takes to eventually dissipate and float all the way downstream. Watching each thought, each emotion, each sensation float all the way down the river until it's out of your sight, out of your conscious mind. And allow yourself to feel lighter with each departing thought. Notice the calm and steady flow of water. It continues without a rush, reminding you that life flows at its own pace. And it's okay if that pace is a little bit different each day. As you continue to allow your breath to flow and this visualization to continue to flow, see if you can bring your attention to the space between each thought. The quiet intervals when the mind is still. The intervals where there are no leaves on the stream. In these moments, embrace a deep sense of presence. Notice the sound of the water as it trickles over the rocks. The softness of the ambient light. What it feels like to sit here in the stillness. This is your time. Whenever a lingering thought arises, simply place it on another leaf and allow it to move along the stream naturally. It's natural for the mind to wander and to latch on to what arises. When this happens, simply return your focus to the image of the stream and the leaves. If it helps, gently say to yourself, I let this go, as you watch the leaf carrying that thought move further and further away, becoming smaller until it dissolves into the distance. Feel your mind becoming more clear, more light, and more spacious with each exhaled breath. If you'd like, you can stay in this visualization as long as it serves you. But if you're ready to transition out, begin to deepen your breath once more, taking a long exhale and a relaxing breath out. Feel the calm awareness that you've cultivated. And remember that you can return to this place of diffusion whenever you desire. Thank you for following along.